Friends, do you know there was a night when one of boxing's greatest legends stepped into the ring against a younger, faster, taller champion, and the world couldn't take its eyes off the fight? A night when age and experience clashed with youth and hunger. And the answer wasn't as obvious as you might think. This is the story of that unforgettable battle. Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios. A fight that brought together two generations and nearly tore the boxing world in half. What happened? In the ring that night wasn't just about punches and footwork. It was about legacy, respect, and the brutal reality of time. In this documentary, we'll walk through every second of that war. The background, the momentum shifts, the emotional roller coaster, and how it all changed the sport forever. Whether you're a diehard boxing fan or just someone curious about greatness, this story will hook you in and hold you till the final bell. This is the full fight breakdown of Pacquiao versus Barrios. Let's step back and see how we got here. The date was September 13th, 2025. The location, T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada. Tickets sold out in under 30 minutes. Pay-per-view numbers through the roof. Everybody wanted to see it. Pacquiao, the veteran, versus Barrios, the rising beast. Manny Pacquiao, former 8-division world champion. 46 years old, stepping back into the ring. Not for money, not for fame. He already had those, but for the love of the fight. And perhaps to prove something even to himself. On the other side stood Mario Barrios, 30 years old, fresh off a knockout win, quick on his feet, dangerous with both hands. At 5 feet 10 inches, he had a massive reach advantage and almost 2 decades of youth. The narrative was simple. Many believed Pacquiao had no business being in the ring anymore, that he was risking everything, health, legacy, dignity, for one last bout. But to Pacquiao, this wasn't about winning. It was about leaving the sport, truly, on his terms. The training camp was brutal. Pacquiao trained in General Santos and Los Angeles, side by side, blending family time with heavy cardio and dozens of sparring rounds. No shortcuts. No mercy, not even on his own body. Barrios, meanwhile, trained under the smart eye of Virgil Hunter, focusing on movement, body shots, and using footwork to offset Pacquiao's typical barrage. The hype was staggering. Even veteran commentators like Max Kellerman, Roy Jones Jr., and Andre Ward weren't sure what to predict. Would it be a sad ending, or one more spark of greatness? The weigh-in was respectful, but tense. Pacquiao came in at 145.7 pounds. Barrios weighed 146.3 pounds, shredded and confident. "He's not just fighting me," Barrios said during an interview. "He's fighting his past. I'm here to represent the present." Pacquiao just smiled. Quiet, calm, different from his younger days. But in his eyes, there was fire. Fight night arrived. The crowd? Electric. Even the rafters vibrated from the chants. "Manny, Manny, Manny." Celebrities lined the front row. Mike Tyson, Shaq, even Floyd Mayweather, sitting in silence, watching. The bell rang, and suddenly, time collapsed. As if 2009 Pacquiao had returned for one last mission. 4. Round-by-round breakdown, approximate. 1,800 words. Round 1. Feeling it out. Pacquiao starts fast, as always. Quick footwork, bouncing side to side, looking for angles. Barrios keeps his distance, sticking the jab. 1-2 combinations from Barrios, clean, textbook. Pacquiao finds a moment, steps in, double jab, left straight, lands hard. Crowd erupts. Round 2. Barrios adjusts, keeps the range. Landed 2 vicious body shots that woke Manny up. You could see it, the age factor. Manny's reaction's a split second slower, but he still had the rhythm. Round 3. Pacquiao explodes mid-round. A flurry, left, right, left, and an uppercut. Barrios backs off. Crowd rises. Las Vegas roars. Scorecards are tight, but the momentum? Slightly tilting toward Manny. Round 4. 6. Barrios builds a lead. Focuses on the body. Heavy hits to the ribs. Pacquiao winces, just for a moment. His legs slow. Barrios controls the center of the ring. Round 6 ends with Barrios landing a huge right hand that stuns Pacquiao. Commentary goes wild. It looks like the turning point. Round 7, the comeback. Then it happened. Pacquiao mutters something to his corner. Comes out swinging. He ducks under a jab. Steps in with a nasty left hook. then follows with 4 clean shots. The crowd, on its feet, did a vintage rally. A rally that reminded us who he was. Rounds 8, 9, both fighters trade blows. Barrios lands a jab-cross combo. Pacquiao answers with a liver shot. These rounds? Brutal, honest, warlike. Round 10, blood drips from Barrios' nose. Pacquiao's right cheek is swollen. Foreheads clashed earlier in the round. Neither man gives an inch. Rounds 11, 12, the atmosphere is electric. Final 2 rounds. Crowd stands. Corners scream instructions. Barrios smells blood. Goes in swinging. Manny dodges. Counters with a signature left straight. Boom. His cleanest shot of the night. Final 30 seconds. Non-stop action. It's not about points anymore. It's heart versus heart. Bell rings. 12 rounds of war. Both men collapse into their corners, exhausted, drenched in sweat, but alive in a way few people on earth will ever understand. In that ring were not just 2 athletes, but 2 stories. Manny Pacquiao, carrying with him a nation's pride, decades of glory, bruises, and prayers. Barrios, fighting for legitimacy, future stardom, and proving that the new generation had arrived. When the final bell rang, they embraced. Pacquiao patted Barrios on the back and whispered something no mic caught. But you could see it painted across his eyes. Respect, not regret. In the corner, Manny's wife Jean Key held back tears. His kids, rarely watching him fight live, sat wide-eyed. For Barrios, his team lifted him up. They knew, regardless of the scorecards, that this was a statement. The crowd didn't boo. They didn't roar. They applauded because they had just witnessed bravery on both sides. And now, the decision. Split decision. Victory. Mario Barrios. Some cheered, some booed. But even Barrios, hearing his name called, didn't celebrate. He looked at Manny and mouthed the words, "Thank you for the honor." Pacquiao nodded, smiling, bittersweet, but peaceful. The press conference that followed was emotional. "Was this your last fight?" a reporter asked. Pacquiao paused. "Yes," he said. This time, truly. The world knew. The legend had written his final chapter, not with a win, but with grace. Barrios' stock skyrocketed. Nike deals, sponsorships. Pacquiao returned to the Philippines. His political journey continued, but he never stopped training the next generation of boxers, mentoring, guiding, leading. Who should win in 2025? Mario Barrios won on points, but Pacquiao won our hearts. The fight showed us that greatness isn't just about age or scorecards, that it's about courage and knowing when you've given your everything. In boxing, we count wins and losses. But the truth is, not all losses are equal. What Manny Pacquiao did in 2025 wasn't a defeat. It was a reminder of what it means to be great, not just through knockouts, but through attitude, discipline, and the willingness to risk everything one more time. Just because you believe in yourself. Barrios showed class, skill, and respect. He didn't just beat a legend. He carried him with honor. And that is what separates fighters from champions. For those watching today, maybe you weren't there that night. Maybe you've only heard the highlight reels, but now you know. The real story, the legacy, the humanity, the fight. Because sometimes the most memorable bouts are decided not by power, but by heart. Thanks for watching.